Where do I stand on this? Well, look, actually, I think that if anyone has lied, and it's possible that Keir Starmer has lied, because he said that he hadn't, stayed for very long, and some excellent evidence that has come out over the last few days would suggest on a timeline that he may have misled the Durham police. If that's happened, and it's all big if, because we don't want to get sued, then I think he's got to resign, especially as he was Director of Public Prosecution. So if he can't tell the truth, that's outrageous. And why shouldn't Boris resign? Well, I'm not sure he's lied yet, because technically, I mean, did he actually attend a party?
Well, this is it. And this is the point, and there's an argument, isn't there? There's an argument, Michael, isn't there? Just got to, sorry, we're squeezed for time. I want to get everyone in. There's an argument that what Keir Starmer's done is worse. And I'm going to come to you, Ken, if that's all right. Ken Livingstone, of course, former Mayor of London. There's an argument that Keir Starmer, driving to Durham, attending something that was actually advertised as a social, and then potentially lied about it, and Angela Rayner's involvement, is worse than what Boris Johnson did. What do you think?
Well, you look at these things, they're completely different. I mean, in Boris Johnson's 2 years in office, there were about a dozen parties in Downing Street, and he attended several of them. And that was a complete breach of all the laws his government had passed. And then Keir Starmer just happens to wander into something there's 2 or 3 people around. That just isn't the same thing.
I'm not sure that's really what happened, though, is it? But, it does appear to be... It was advertised as, quote, a greasy night, Ken. So I think we can all agree that that's not just 2 or 3 people. Although, I don't know, maybe Keith Vaz would beg to differ. I'm going to go to you now, please, Neil. Neil Hamilton there, the UKIP leader in Wales. Partygate or Beergate, Neil?
Well, they both wrote the rules. They're both hypocrites, but Keir Starmer's a sanctimonious hypocrite, so he gets my vote for having to go first.
Right, OK. Just stay with you, because that was very short and sweet, Neil, but I did like it. The brass neck on Keir Starmer, if it turns out that he has broken the rules and then lied about it, to sit there, stand there, look Boris in the eye, look us in the eye, and then all along he's done something worse, potentially.
Yeah, well, I think that's absolutely right. Keir Starmer wanted not just those rules, but he wanted much, much tighter rules. So he got to be held to a much higher standard, in my view, than Boris. We know that Boris is, generally speaking, disorganised and shambolic, and he may not have been aware that he was breaking any rules, as Michael said a moment ago. But this is a strict liability offence. If the facts are proved you're guilty, it doesn't matter what your intentions were. So it's just like a speeding fine. So personally, I don't think anybody should resign, because the rules were massively flawed, and they're both responsible for making them. And we've got to keep it in perspective, in my view. It's a very consequence.
We've got to keep it moving. I'm going to work back down the line. Michael, I will come to you shortly. I can see you're itching to get involved, but we're going to start with Big Red. Can, look, some people say that Boris Johnson is worse because he invented these rules, or he certainly enforced them. But you know what? Keir Starmer voted for them, and as Neil said, would have gone further with the rules, probably. So actually, he's just as to blame, isn't he, Ken? Ken Livingstone, are you there? Ken, all right? It's just... OK. Right, Michael, your views.
Well, I agree with actually what Neil said. And you know what? The civil servants, prime ministers never know the ruddy law anyway. It's the civil servants who advise all the time. And they will say, you can do this or you can't do that. It was the ruddy civil servants who were there anyway. So they clearly thought that the law wasn't be broken because it was a work environment. Now, I know it won't cut much ice with viewers, but, it was a work environment. It was a bubble. I mean, if you collect by the cooler, the water cooler, to discuss, a programme because you're having like 3 minutes break from work, is that called a party? I mean, come on. So if the civil servants thought it was OK because they attended, and in fact they went to more parties, and it's very inverted commas, the old parties thing, then surely, he was given the advice that it was perfectly legal.
OK.
By the way,
Ken, I believe you're back with us.
Can you... the earlier thing where you were talking to the psychologist and you were nodding sagely and saying, yes, you know about the bars. Now, who was the MP?
No, we don't need to go into that, Michael. We don't need to go into that. We split the bill and we agreed to part as friends. Now, can you hear me?
Well, I have to say, Boris Johnson is the most dishonest Prime Minister in my lifetime. I've never met anyone in my life who lies as much as he does. And no, I mean, well, I wasn't a great supporter of Tony Blair, but, I mean, literally, people stop me on the street and chat about, politics and things. They all think Boris is dishonest, and I don't think anyone can deny that. His record has literally been chaotic. I mean, literally, we go into lockdown, and, I just spent almost 2 years stuck at home, isolated. But these events again and again. He knows this is illegal, but he just doesn't think the laws apply to him. And I think he should resign. If it hadn't been for the eruption of the war in Ukraine, I think Tory MPs would have forced him out by now. And, frankly, if they don't force him out, they're going to have a big defeat at the next general election.
OK, all right. Well, look, all three of you, thank you so much. It's been great. It's been chaotic and madness, and that's exactly what this show is supposed to be. So thank you very much. And I tell you what, as well, I wouldn't mind parading through the Commons bars with all three of you at once, actually. I think that would be quite the night out. So thank you very much. And also, sorry as well, Neil, for demoting you to the current leader of UKIP in Wales, when indeed you are just the leader of UKIP. So cheers. Cheers for all of that. No offence intended there.
Don't worry about that.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.